Hey everyone, my name is Ryan Chapman. I'm from Base Training, and I have been testing out a program from Beachbody, same people who make P90X and Insanity and all that stuff. It's a program called PiYo, and it's a kind of a fusion of Pilates and yoga. I've been doing the program for about 7.5 weeks as I'm filming this video, and I wanted to film this video specifically to talk about how PiYo can help endurance athletes. Before I get into that too much, I'm just going to give you a little background on myself so you know that you're actually talking to someone who does endurance stuff and has some credentials in it. So I'm a USAT Level 1 triathlon coach, certified triathlon coach, have been for about 4.5 years. I'm a certified Newton natural running coach, so I work with people on running form, natural running form, and preventing injuries in running. I'm also a total immersion swim coach, so I work on swim form and swim programs with triathletes and other swimmers and athletes. I'm also a certified Heart Zones personal trainer, so I work with people on heart rate training and how to incorporate that into endurance sports. I'm actually an Ironman myself, completed Ironman Arizona in 2012. I've completed multiple half Ironmans, Olympic triathlons, many sprint triathlons, even finishing in the top 10 of some sprint triathlons and things like that. I've also coached for about 4.5 or 5 years, at least 5 seasons of coaching triathletes all the way up to the Ironman level with several Ironman finishers. So those are my credentials in the endurance coaching and endurance racing arena. I'm also a elite level Beachbody coach, have done programs like P90X, Insanity, T25, and Combat, and more. I've also used P90X3, P90X2, and the original P90X with my triathletes with lots of success, seeing lots of gains in speed and endurance and things like that. The reasons that I'm excited about PiYo, though, over some of the other programs that I use like P90X, P90X2, and P90X3 is what I really want to talk to you about in this video, okay? The first one that really excites me about PiYo is that you can actually get flexibility at the same time as you're getting strength, core work, and even some cardio work within your workout. The number one thing that I see triathletes and runners and other endurance athletes skip is stretching, right? You've got 40 minutes to get in a run, and the run on your plan says 40 minutes. What are you going to do? You're not going to cut it down to 35 minutes and stretch for 5 minutes. You're going to run for 40 minutes and be done. And that's what most athletes do. They're crunched for time. They've got to swim, they've got to bike, they've got to run, or maybe you're running 40, 50 miles a week training for a marathon. And the thing that gets cut out most of the time is stretching, or you do some kind of a token stretching routine that lasts about 30 seconds and it's like, oh, okay, all right, we're all done. And so a lot of athletes are losing their flexibility or not gaining any flexibility. They never had any flexibility, and they're getting injured and they're wondering why. So they lose flexibility, they get injured. What PiYo does, which is amazing to me, I've been through it for 7.5 weeks. I'm as flexible or more flexible than I've ever been in my life, and I'm not stretching after workouts. I'm stretching all through the workout while I'm gaining strength, balance, core strength, and even getting some cardio and endurance stuff in there. The last couple of weekends I've gone for bike rides with my wife. I haven't touched my bike in like 10 weeks, and the last 2 weekends I went on a 45 and a 30-mile bike ride. No back stiffness, which is a combination of core strength and flexibility. No back stiffness, and I never get that on rides over 20 miles. I always have the back stiffness, even at the most flexible I've been before. And like I said, I'm not stretching after my workouts. It's all happening during my workouts. Think of the time savings for a triathlete. If I could give you strength and flexibility in a 30-minute workout instead of doing a 30-minute workout for strength and then having to stretch afterwards. If we could throw a 20-minute workout where you're getting strength onto the end of a run and you get a little bit of strength training and you also get some flexibility, how much time savings would that be for you? Okay, so that's my number one reason why I like PiYo for endurance athletes. Strength and stretch in the same workout instead of separately. Okay, so along with that, we want to talk about why flexibility is so important for an endurance athlete, okay? you know, a lot of people, like I said, kind of skip through the stretching and they don't do it and they get injured because they're not flexible. Okay, so that's number one, is flexibility helps keep you from injury. But here's the thing that you probably really care about, right? I mean, I'm sure you care about not getting injured as well. But what people really want to do is get faster, right? And I don't think people realize how much flexibility plays a role in how fast you run. And how fast you do everything, but especially how fast you run. Let me just explain a few things about flexibility in relation to your running stride. Okay, when you run, there's two things that make up how fast you're going to run. It's how fast you're moving your legs and how much ground you cover on each step. Okay, you can only move your legs so fast. Your heart can only take so much with how fast you can move your legs. Your leg muscles can only move so fast. But if you're covering more ground on each step, that's your stride length, then you're going to run faster. So once you get to that, what most people consider the optimal 180 steps per minute, how do you get faster? The answer is stride length. What most people don't realize is that they're limited in their stride length by their hip flexor flexibility. And so if you can't get a longer stride length because you're not flexible enough to, it's limiting your run speed. So you see all these people who are running 10-minute miles, 12-minute miles, 14-minute miles, 60-minute miles, right? They're saying, how come I can't run 7-minute miles and 6-minute miles and 5-minute miles? In some cases, it's a cardio issue. It's a just getting in shape issue. For other people, it's not because they're not in shape, it's because they're not flexible enough. And they don't have the hip flexor flexibility, and they're not getting that power that comes along with that hip flexor flexibility. I'll just show you a couple things here, just to kind of illustrate that point. If you get out here in, kind of a lunge, your hip flexor goes like right on here on the front of your hip. It totally limits the stride length that you can get if your hip flexor is not flexible. What happens when you try to move your leg further back, if you don't have hip flexor flexibility, is you have to move forward in order to release that hip flexor from the stretch that it's getting. Okay. The other thing that happens there, though, is when that hip flexor is stretched really good, it acts like a rubber band. So if I can get this really long stride length, stay upright, and get that hip flexor really flexed, when it's time for the leg to come back through and take the next step, it gets a bit of a spring for that next step. Okay, so hip flexor flexibility is extremely important for running speed. Okay, so you're going to get a lot of that out of the PiYo program. Can you get hip flexor flexibility other ways? Yes, but like I said in point number one, you can get this hip flexor flexibility along with your strength training. So in addition to making you faster and also helping to prevent injury, flexibility also increases your comfort when you're doing all these different exercises. So the more flexible you are, the more comfortable you're going to be, especially on the bike. If you're a triathlete and you're getting down in the aero bars, if you're not flexible, those aero bars are not going to be comfortable. Okay, so if you work on your flexibility and you get flexible, you're going to be a lot more comfortable on your aero bars. You're going to be a lot more comfortable running. You're going to be a lot more comfortable swimming if you've got that flexibility. Okay, next point. So core strength. Another thing I love about PiYo, it absolutely it has given me the strongest core I've ever had. In 7.5 weeks, I've never had a core this strong. It's incredible. My wife has commented on it. It's incredible how strong the core is. What does having a strong core do? Core muscles do not fatigue as fast as other muscles. They come back really quickly. This is going to give you more stamina. If you've got a really, really strong core, you're going to have more stamina running. You're going to be able to hold posture longer, which is going to keep you from trying to recruit other muscle groups to do things that your core is supposed to do. When that happens, you start trying to recruit other muscle groups that are supposed to be moving you forward instead of holding you up, then those muscles get tired quicker. So having that core strength helps hold you up, keep you in posture, and keep you more efficient. Okay, so you got stamina there that's helping. Also, when you're in good posture and you've got good core strength, you're going to be faster too, because a lot of the power that happens in running, biking, and in swimming all comes from the core. A lot of that power comes from there. Hip movements and things that originate in the core. So the stronger your core is, the faster you're going to be. The stronger your core is, the more stamina you're going to have. And the stronger your core is, the more comfortable you're going to be in all three of your in all three of your disciplines, in swimming, biking, and running. Okay, in addition to core strength, you're also going to get a lot of upper body strength and also tons of leg strength out of PiYo. There's a lot of squats, a lot of lunges, a lot of work on the glutes, a lot of work on the hips, and there's a lot of push-ups and upper body work, including things like down dog, like you would do in yoga. But the way it's done in PiYo, I mean, I've never done a workout that didn't involve weights and had a sore upper back, like upper back muscles. And PiYo's able to do that. I mean, I feel so much stronger in my upper body. My push-ups are way better than they've ever been. And then leg strength, I'm actually doing my insanity workouts, my teaching insanity at the local gym. And I perform better in those insanity workouts while only doing PiYo for my main program. So you don't just get core strength like you think of Pilates and yoga. Okay, core strength, right? Core strength and flexibility. You're also going to get upper body work and you're going to get lower body work. It's everything you need as an endurance athlete. I'm telling you, you don't need to do a bunch of weight workouts if you do this. Now, you're not going to be big, like bodybuilder guy, but that's not what you want when you're an endurance athlete anyway. You're not going to get big. You're going to get lean, toned muscle that works really well. It's very functional and useful for endurance training. So upper body, lower body, and the core. Okay, last thing I want to talk about with PiYo and endurance athletes is injury prevention. Now, there's a lot of ways that it can prevent injury. We already talked about flexibility, just in general, prevents injury. Having good core strength prevents injury. But I want to talk about two specific things, and that's knee stability and hip strength. So hip and glute strength. Working with my good buddy Forrest, who's a local chiropractor who I work with on a lot of running clinics and things like that. The number one thing that he sees in runners is a lack of hip strength and glute strength that results in injuries. It goes down the kinetic chain. It can often cause knee problems when you have weak hips. It can often cause knee problems when you have weak glutes. You start to try to recruit other muscles to do what those muscles are supposed to do. Say you get to mile 7 on a run and your hips and glutes can't take it anymore because they're not strong enough to make it that long. So you start recruiting other muscles and that leads to injury. So the cool thing about PiYo is that you're going to get the hip work that you need. You're going to do the side planks and you're going to do all the things that get in fact, there's an entire workout, 27, 28 minute workout that works only on the glutes, basically. I mean, it works other muscles like core while you're doing it, but the focus is on the glutes. And it is an amazing injury prevention workout for endurance athletes by strengthening the muscles that endurance athletes neglect the most and have the weakest of, and then end up getting injured because of. So hip strength, glute strength, and that causes there's also knee stability and knee strength, the muscles around the knee that are stabilized by all this work that helps you prevent that injury. So in conclusion, PiYo, I think, is going to be an amazing all-around program for endurance athletes. Extremely easy to incorporate into your triathlon and running training programs. I'm going to be creating entire programs for all the distances so you can see where to incorporate things to really work the best in your training programs. Just contact me, let me know that you want to get in on those programs. For most people, they're going to be completely free. Just get in contact with me. Tell me what your deal is. If you're a coach, let me know that. If you're not a coach, but you're working with some other coach, just let me know that from Beachbody, and we'll work something out. Okay. So if you've got some things you're training for, marathons, half marathons, 5Ks, 10Ks, sprint, Olympic, half iron, full iron triathlons, I'm going to have programs for that. So I'm excited about seeing PiYo work for endurance athletes and how it's working for me. I'm going to be training for Miami 70.3 this year, and it's going to be a PiYo and triathlon fusion program. So I'm super excited about it. I hope you guys are too, and thanks for listening to why PiYo is great for endurance athletes.